Hello and welcome to yet another tutorial. Today we are going to discuss numbers. By the end of this tutorial, we should be able to state the different types of numbers, identify the different classes of numbers, define a factor and find the factors of some numbers, as well as calculating the highest common factor. We must be able to define a multiple, use directed numbers, and order numbers either in ascending or descending order. Okay, let's get started. The types of numbers. Let us start by defining what a number is. A number is a mathematical object used to count, label, or measure. So those are the three different functions of numbers. They are used for counting, labeling, and measuring. If we talk about counting, we mean counting items. For instance, if I'm interested in the number of people seated in a room, I would use numbers to count them. I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm using numbers to get the number of people seated in a room. Then as a label, for instance, if we want to count the number of chairs in a stadium or an arena, we would assign a number to each seat as a label. We may say this is A1, A2, A3. Maybe it's a hospital. We want to number the beds, thereby labeling them. We would use numbers like maybe B1, B2. So that is another function of numbers. Then they are also used to measure. For instance, if I want to get the length of a table, I would get my ruler and measure it. Maybe it's 50 centimeters. The 50 is the number which is attached to the measurement of length. Maybe it is mass. If I'm talking about 50 kilograms, the 50 is attached to the mass. So those are the functions of numbers. Let us look at this example. For the following question, complete the table by putting a tick or an X, and they have already completed the first row. So let's run through. 5 is a natural number, so that's a tick. It is at the same time a whole number. It is an integer. It is rational. It's not irrational, so it's a cross. It is real, so it's a tick. And it's not imaginary. Let's look at negative 3. Negative 3 is not a natural number because we do not use negative 3 for counting. So this is an X. It is not a whole number because whole numbers start from 0 going to the positive side up to positive infinity. So it is not a whole number, though it is an integer because integers are all numbers including positives and negatives. It is rational. It is rational because it can be written as a fraction. So irrational is an X. It is real. It's not imaginary. 3.2. We do not use 3.2 for counting, so it's not a natural number. It is not a whole number because whole numbers start from 0, 1, 2, excluding the decimals. It is not an integer. Another way of writing down these rectangular numbers, we can look at 2 as 2 times 1, 6 is 2 times 3, 12 is 3 times 4, 5 is 4 times 5. So it is a matter of multiplying the consecutive counting numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on and so forth. So 1 times 2 gives us the first rectangular number. 2 times 3 gives us the next rectangular number. 3 times 4 gives us the next rectangular number. 4 times 5 is going to give us the next rectangular number. Now the next rectangular number is going to be 5 times 6, which is a 30. 6 times 7 is the next rectangular number, and this is 42. So that is how we generate. The next is going to be 7 times 8, 8 times 9, 9 times 10. That's one other way of writing down the rectangular numbers. Now the equation for the nth term therefore becomes Tn is equal to n times n plus 1. Let us talk about the factors. A factor of a number is a number which can perfectly be divided by the number. And what that basically means is that there is no remainder which is left. Now, for instance, let us consider a number like 18. A number like 18 has got the following factors. 18 divided by 2 is going to give me 9. So 2 is a factor because it can perfectly be divided by 18 and no remainder is left. If you did if you took like 18 and you divided 18 by 5, we are going to get 3.6. So 5 is not a factor of 18. The factors of 18 are the numbers which, when we get 18 and we divide them by those numbers, we do not get a remainder. 18 divided by 3 is equal to 6. So the 3 is also a factor of 18. 18 divided by 6 is 3. Actually, the reverse is true. So 6 is also a factor of 18. From here you can see that 18 divided by 9, it's going to be 2. So 9 is also a factor of 18. I'm not forgetting 1. 18 divided by 1